everyone, it's Maddie, your instructional technology specialist, and I've gotten a lot of requests. So I wanted to make you a video to demonstrate how to take a PDF, which could be a worksheet that you've scanned in, something that you've purchased from somewhere like Teachers Pay Teachers, or maybe something that a friend has shared with you. So it's a PDF form and we want to throw it onto a Google slide so that way we can add some text boxes and make it editable for our students. So that way we can drop it straight into Canvas or Seesaw there. So I just started with a brand new Google Slides, and I always like to start with naming it. And I'm actually going to show you, I have a Zane in the Hurricane. It's just a little brochure for the first 6 chapters. And that's what I'm going to be using today for my PDF that I have purchased previously. And so go ahead and name your file, nice fresh Google slide. And I'm going to start by clicking on these text boxes because they're always automatically there for us. And I'm just going to delete those because I just want something to be totally clean. Okay, and so now in another tab, I already have my file opened. So this is something I've previously purchased. It's just, it's a read aloud that I do every year. And the kids are just going to need a text box here so that way they can type me a short little response just for every few chapters. So if you notice when I scroll up here, this is page 13 out of 31, and I definitely don't want to load all 31 pages. So I'm going to come over here and hit the print button. I'm always forgetting that this feature is there. And instead of choosing a printer, I choose Save as PDF. So now I have the option, I can say custom pages, and now I can just say I only want page 13, and I'm going to hit save. So now I'm actually extracting just that one page out of all of them. And so Zane in the Hurricane, chapters 1 through 6, I'm going to save that to my document file. That's just where I throw them temporarily and I clean it out regularly. I'm going to hit save. I'm going to say yes because I've already saved this once before. So yeah, so now I have my page ready. So I'm going to come back over here to my Google slide, and I could actually, so this worksheet, if you noticed, is landscape, and so is my Google slide. It's also landscape. But in case your worksheet, a lot of times they'll be portrait or up and down, you can come in and change your Google slide very easily. Go to File, Page Setup, and right here where it says widescreen, click Custom. And all you'd have to do are flip-flop these 2 numbers in this box. Okay, now what I have found with my personal experience is that it actually works better if it's a worksheet if you change your Google slide to be the same size as computer paper, which is 8.5 by 11. So it looks better, you get a little more working room, and in case of an emergency and somebody needs to print it, it'll print beautifully. Okay, so now I have portrait mode, right? And I can easily, I'm like, oh no, I don't want to do that. I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to flip-flop these, make that 11 by 8.5 instead, apply, and now I'm back to landscape mode. So super easy to adjust your Google slide. So now I'm actually, you don't have to do this step, but I'm going to show you because I think it looks much better. Okay, so I'm going to open a new tab over here. And what I did, I just Googled PDF to JPEG. So I actually want to change my PDF that I just made of my Zane in the Hurricane to a picture, which is JPEG. And I always usually just click the top one up here. I've used the first 2 or 3. They're all safe to use and they're free. And I'm looking for an option where I can upload my PDF. I just saved it to my documents file. It's called Zane in the Hurricane, chapters 1 through 6. I'm going to open it up. And I'm going to say convert PDF to JPEG. Yes, I do want to do that. And then you just wait a minute, and then you should get the option to download. And you'll see it in your bottom left-hand corner pop up. I'm going to just open that up. I'm going to click these 3 dots, save as, and now I'm just going to save it to my picture file over here. I just want it to be called Zane in the Hurricane, chapters 1 through 6. I'm going to save it. Okay, now I can close that out. I'm going to go back to my Google slide. Now here is why I prefer to save it as a picture, because now I can go into background. I can hit choose image. I can browse for my file. I just put it in my picture file, Zane and the Hurricane, and open. So when I open this and I choose done as a background, see, I can click and drag, and I can't edit this. I can't move it. I can't edit it. So it's nice and stationary there for me. So now all I would have to do is go in and insert my text boxes. So I can go to insert here, text box, or you should also have a box with a T in it in the toolbar. Okay, and so now I'm just going to come in. I'm going to throw a text box right there, and I'm going to say text here. Okay, and then all I have to do, I can copy that text box and paste it, and I can just put them everywhere that needs to go in these boxes that needs text. Click and drag. Move it up a little bit. And now I have text boxes here. So after I have done that, wherever you need to do it, and I would definitely recommend typing in, type your answer here, text here, something so that way they'll see the text box. Because if you don't have text in your text box, when you click off, you're not going to see a text box. And unless the student just happens to click there, they're not going to know that a text box is there. So that's why I would recommend typing something just so the student knows that's where you're typing. Okay, and just in case, I know I've had some teachers that are like, these lines bother them because when they start typing, it may not line up perfectly. And what you could do, if you're really picky about it and you don't like it, you could always insert a shape over these lines here. And you can just make everything white, no outline in the fill white. And then you could do that. And then you can grab and put a text box right over it. So if you'd rather do that, you totally can. You might have to say order and bring that text box to the front so you can see your text. It's just a few more steps, but if you like that look better, totally easy to do. It's just a little riskier because you can, you might be able to move that shape. If the student, kind of clicks crazy, it is possible because that shape is not part of the background. Okay, so just a couple of different options there for you and tips and tricks that I've learned along the way to make it easy. But that is totally what I would do. If you guys have PDFs, you have worksheets, you want to use what you've already purchased before, or maybe you've made something, somebody's given you something, just make sure that you format your page correctly for your Google slide. You can put in your, change your PDF to a JPEG so you can load it as a background. And like I said too, if you don't want, let me just restore this. If you don't want to go through having to put it as a background, that's totally okay too. You can just copy and paste it right onto the slide. So instead of using background, you can just copy and paste it right onto there. So you just have a couple different options. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Hopefully that'll make your life a little bit easier and save some time. Have a great day.